So then what the fuck happened to the commission? What happened to that album?
Right.
It was recorded. It was being mixed and mastered upon Biggie's death. It was supposed to have came out that summer after Biggie's album because Biggie's album was slated. He died a week and a half before his album came out. Then the commission was supposed to come out, and that was supposed to be his exit from Bad Boy. And then starting his own company.
Biggie, better known as the Notorious B.I.G., was murdered over 26 years ago. Biggie died on March 9, 1997, and no one has ever been convicted of his murder to this day. However, more odd details linking Diddy to the death of the rapper have emerged. So, what transpired with Biggie? Everyone knows the tragic story of Biggie's unsolved murder, but the timeline of events leading up to it has always remained hazy. Not any longer, a former Bad Boy record label bodyguard had alleged that Diddy was making money off of Biggie and that Biggie was intending to leave the firm weeks before he was murdered. Gene Deal alleged on DJ Vlad's blog that the late rapper made plans to depart Bad Boy for a lucrative deal worth more than $60 million. Deal claimed to have seen Biggie's Bad Boy contract while watching Diddy's briefcase during a flight. It detailed Biggie's profits in $250,000 increments but left publishing money in Puff's custody. When he inquired about it, Biggie allegedly told him about a new contract and all the money he'd make.
Yeah, Big had a contract, and what happened was when me and Puff rode on the plane coming back down there, Puff gave me his briefcase.
Although Gene's allegations are difficult to substantiate, Biggie's mother, Valletta Wallace, once discussed how much money he received when he signed with the label. Christopher stated in her 2005 book, Biggie, Valletta Wallace remembers her son, that she wrote about it. The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That's the amount Puffy lured my son with. That was a lot of money for Christopher back then as a 19-year-old. He had never seen that much at one time in his life. It was enough money to make my son believe that Puffy was ready to do anything for him. It was enough to buy a blind love and loyalty. Gene also mentioned Diddy putting money over anything else in his discussion with DJ Vlad. He claimed Diddy told him he didn't mind if Tupac and Biggie died. Remember, this was months before their deaths. The deal discussed the incident that occurred following the Soul Train Awards, in which Diddy became enraged after overhearing him telling the other bodyguards that he had fled death row. He revealed that Diddy stated that being a businessman and getting money was his top objective. Following those words, he said Diddy foretold a series of events by saying he didn't care if Biggie or Tupac died or if Suge Knight was imprisoned.
After this next album?
Yeah, Big had a contract, and what happened was when me and Puff rode on the plane coming back down there, Puff gave me his briefcase and everything like that. Like, yo, here, like me carry this shit. Say, all right, motherfucker, I got 5 hours, 6 hours on this thing. Let me see what's in the briefcase. And I seen Big contract.
Gene later said in the same interview that Biggie's shooter approached Diddy before the murder. He also addressed the now famous sketch of Biggie's accused killer, claiming that it was inaccurate. He claims that the police had surveillance images of a man who matched the description given by eyewitnesses the night of the shooting but never disclosed them. Diddy also discussed Biggie's death in an interview with Wendy Williams, saying that he felt culpability for the death of his then 24-year-old pal. In the same interview, he described what happened that night and how the two should have been on a plane leaving the nation. Diddy's allegations that Biggie was the one who wanted to stay in Los Angeles were challenged by Kirk Burroughs, the former president of Bad Boys Records, who claimed that Diddy was the one who asked them to stay in LA instead of going to London. Many people have been shocked by Gene's assertions concerning Diddy's participation in Biggie's killing. In fact, many have noted how Gene's account of the events leading up to Biggie's killing has always been consistent. Stories never changed after all these years. This man is telling the truth. One fan commented, "I'm glad Gene exposed these truths. Big and Puff wasn't as tight as Puff made them out to be. Their relationship was CEO and artist, that's it." A second fan jumped in, while a third one wrote, "I'm so glad he said this. I've been saying it for years and Biggie fans didn't want to hear it. That man was leaving Bad Boy and did not rock with Diddy in his last days. That's why Puff forced him to lay and got him hit up. He knew his cash cow was leaving. The rap game would look a lot different if Pac and Biggie didn't die in 96 and 97. Though unproven, the stories surrounding Biggie's untimely murder have always had one thing in common: Diddy's participation. Another resurrected hypothesis contends that Biggie was murdered by mistake and that Diddy was the intended target. According to leaked FBI papers, Diddy got repeated death threats, and his security guard challenged a man who approached Diddy's car just moments before the shooting. Both rappers were waiting for cars outside the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles following an after-party. The two climbed into the front seats of their respective green SUVs. Diddy's security officer instructed his driver to run a red light rather than stop at a crossroads, knowing that stopping at the lights would have been unsafe. Biggie's driver, on the other hand, did not, and they sat at the lights for about a minute. Following that, a dark Chevy Impala pulled up alongside the rapper in his green GMC Suburban and began the fire. Despite being taken to nearby Cedars-Sinai Medical Center for emergency surgery, Notorious Big died from his devastating injuries at 1:15 a.m. Although Biggie is no longer alive, his legacy and songs live on with admirers all over the world. He will be regarded as one of the best rappers of his generation by his adoring fans, and his music is still popular today. That concludes today's video. Bye!